Pixar boss slams Disney, blames them, in fact, for the string of box office failures. Absolutely hilarious, genuinely. So Pixar chief Pete Docter believes that the company has drifted too far from its storytelling roots. Oh yes, as in just normal, wholesome family fun? Normal, wholesome, good stories. Yeah, I'd say it's drifted from that. I'd say the blame firmly lands with Disney on that. So absolutely gold. Absolute gold this is. So a new report details that Pixar chief Pete Docter believes the animation company has drifted too far from its storytelling roots. And this is important because Pixar was the king of family entertainment. It was the king of family sort of animation movies. You'd release a Pixar movie, it was guaranteed to be a box office hit. You'd buy it, it would be in homes, all of your kids would be watching it, right? It just was what it was. Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. Nah. In fact, the animation is bland, hasn't developed any further, and the stories are dog shite. So let's take a look at this. So the New York Times, Brooks Barnes described a Zoom interview he conducted with Docter that primarily revolved around the failure of Elemental, that Disney is now attempting to spin as a success, given the movie had longer legs at the box office than initially expected. That was a huge failure, by the way. We can break that down, actually. So, according to the numbers, the Pixar's latest animated release, Elemental, only grossed $29.6 million in its opening weekend at the domestic box office. However, the film went on to earn $154.4 million at the domestic box office throughout its entire run in theatres. It also would add $333.7 million internationally, predominantly in South Korea, for a global gross of $488.1 million. That's terrible. It had an estimated production budget of $200 million. So just on production budget, it needs $400 million to start breaking even. But it's not just $400 million, is it, ladies and gents? Because there's production, sort of marketing costs on top of that, sorry. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. And that's, I'm $200 million. This article from Bounding into Comics references $500 million to break even. They're factoring in marketing budgets as well. Yeah, sometimes, because sometimes it's 50% of the production cost. So that would put it at 250. So 500 million. Well, no, actually, that would put it at 300, wouldn't it? Sorry, my brain's a bit mush. So that would actually put it at 600 million to start breaking even. Yeah, not good. That's a huge failure. So according to Barnes, Docter placed the blame on Walt Disney executives who moved Pixar films from theatrical releases, which is important, by the way. Like, theatrical releases are important for families. Like, that's a day out for a family sometimes. Yeah, sure, the costs are going up. I get it. But it is still something which families do together, with their kids that they can do, during school holidays, seasonal type events, these types of things. Moving it from theatrical releases to Disney Plus devalues the product in the eyes of the consumer. I can just catch it whenever I want. There's no urgency here. It's not really that important. I'll get it when I get it. There's no urgency. There's no desire. So that matters a lot. So for a start, Docter said Disney had undercut Pixar as a big screen force by using its films to build the Disney Plus streaming service, which is absolutely true. He reportedly pointed to Soul, Turning Red, and Luca all being released on Disney Plus instead of getting theatrical releases. Now, they are issues, right? The theatrical release is an issue, but it's also the fact you're producing utter shite now as well. And again, the animation's garbage. The budgets are still sky high, which is beyond me as to how the budgets are so bloody high when the animation is so shit. But never mind. So Docter claims this change shifted the way viewers look at Pixar films. This has been an overall shift in viewing habits as a result of the pandemic, but it's also specific to Disney Plus. We've told people, hey, all of this is going to be available to you on Disney Plus. So not only did Docter claim that Disney executives have screwed the pooch by putting Pixar films on Disney Plus, but he did take some of the blame himself, with Barnes stating, and I quote, although not saying so directly, Mr. Docter also indicated that Pixar had perhaps drifted too far from its storytelling roots. But that's also because of Disney, right? Disney owns Pixar. So if Pixar have steered away from their storytelling roots, that's because of Disney overall. So to that point, Doctor said, and I quote, "I've always felt that Elemental would speak to a lot of people, and I'm so happy it has, but we have also taken another look at the projects we're working on now. What are the kinds of films we want to be making? I really think I want to double down on what allowed us to speak to audiences to begin with." So Doctor made similar comments in an interview with Variety back in June. So he's done this many times. So he told the outlet, "We made Soul for the big screen. We looked at every frame. There's so much detail and gorgeous imagery and work that was done that you can't quite appreciate on a smaller screen. However, there was a pandemic going on. On one hand, we're so thankful that there was Disney Plus so that we could release the film and people could see it. Otherwise, it would just sit on a shelf for a year and a half. In the long run, there's been a bit of a mixed blessing because we've trained audiences that these films will be available for you on Disney Plus, and it's more expensive for a family of 4 to go to a theatre when they know that they can wait and it will come out on the platform." All of this is true. We're trying to make sure people realise there's a great deal you're missing by not seeing it on the big screen. In the case of Elemental, it's a beautiful spectacle. There's detail everywhere. I think you feel it more, and it's a better experience. I love the theatrical experience, so you're not going to see me argue with that. I genuinely do love the theatrical experience. There's a shared experience as well that you get to see it in a room with strangers, and there's something about the energy that comes from other people that makes the whole experience more vibrant and interesting. So yeah, a friend of the channel, Yellow Flash, commented on this. He said, "Look, you could blame Disney for some of the problems when it comes to what's going on with Pixar. I'm sure Disney mandated that they need to tell certain kinds of stories and that they need to include certain kind of material. However, it's Pixar that got to write the story and make the film." And this is true. This kind of goes back to what I was saying. Disney will mandate a lot of this stuff. Pixar obviously do write it. I'm on the other side of things that, Pixar is an issue because Pixar ousted Lasseter, which is a massive issue for Pixar. You remove Lasseter, the guy that was chief behind the greatest successes of Pixar, basically, and you outed him for ideological reasons. So there's clearly some rot within Pixar, but there's obviously rot within Disney. Those two rots combined produces a sinking ship at the end of the day. So it is quite funny because these are just people going around in a massive circle of blame. And it's comical. So what do you think? Who's to blame? Let me know what you think down below. But I love this kind of stuff because it's just the snake eating its own tail. And that's what the left do, or these kind of ideological companies that try to run on capitalism but fail miserably at that because they're ideologically bound. It's just nonsense. So anyway, cheers guys. Let me know what you think down below. Take care. Bye bye now.